Welcome back to the Quake Pro League. Week 18, this will be the last week of regulation. I am 40 Lions, joined by Lethal. Lethal, how are you?
Doing good, mate. I'm doing very well, as always. Final week going into the Quake Pro League now. And yeah, it's going to be a doozy. We've got some crackers going on as well.
Well, yes, we do. Actually, the middle of the leaderboard, or that top 8 spot that people are gunning for, is going to be heavily impacted by some of the matches today, as players will fight for their first day bye. First round bye, forget about that. I don't want to play group play. You got to get top 8 to do it. But before we get into that stuff, the math, the breakdown, chain-smoking cigarettes to figure it all out, let's talk about what happened last week, some of the results, some of the games that we saw, and we could take a look at some of the footage.
Certainly will do, indeed. It's a little bit predictable in terms of the series scoreline here. Kilson did manage to take this 3-0 quite comfortably, as well, as he didn't really give many frags at all in this entire series alone. I think he only gave away 6, of course, over the entirety of the 3 maps, and Kilson just doing what he does best and trying to make himself prim and proper, ready for QuakeCon here. But Kilson just showing a great display of skill across the board.
Full focus, indeed. And then we went over to Avik versus Toxic, and this one was pretty good. Can't really complain here. 2 legends.
Yeah, can't complain at all in the slightest. As Tox was trying a couple of different maneuvers and kind of different things here and there to see what he could do before as he heads to QuakeCon as well. But Avik was flaring on the server multiple times with some clear scorelines as well. I do believe he won like 23-6 on that Vale game as well. And go over to Strong Sage versus psygib. Of course, Strong Sage trying to add to the tally onto the leaderboard with a 3-0 of his own.
And let's not forget, though, about Tox, absolute tribal beast, all right? Just had to make that note. I know the people know. But yeah, Strong Sage versus psygib, a little bit of a team kill here. Strong Sage comes up big and just showing us week in, week out that, you know, he deserves to be here. Good rookie league. He has had some stumbles, but looking pretty good overall as we head into the final.
He certainly did indeed. And Razy, pretty comfortable against Sib. He did have a little bit of a struggle on the final map, which was Blood Covenant. It was 6-4, but we know that Sib has been either taking the odd map here and there, some of the top dogs in our business, but not against Razy. He made sure to put an absolute halt to that with a 3-0 of his own.
And then Nosfa versus Chain. Real quick note, Sib versus Razy, the first like 2-3 minutes of every map, very close, and then Razy just doing Razy things. But yes, Nosfa versus Chain, very interesting set. Again, some of these players, they're kind of too far gone. Sorry, Chain, I hate to break it to everybody. But, you know, still fighting, trying to stay fresh as we get closer and closer to the finals. Again, this is the last week of regulation, so a tight set between these two, as we saw last week. Yeah, and then Wenger versus Sirius. This one was pretty fantastic, I must say.
It certainly was. It wasn't going to be a 3-0 though for Wenger, as Sirius was able to claw back that final map on Molten Falls. Only 2-1, mind you, but it will give him a little bit of a push and a little bit of leeway, and at least a tiny bit of confidence going into QuakeCon as well. It's to see he's able to do. But for Wenger, though, it does mean that he will be in that first place spot no matter what, and he's going to be pretty damn happy about that going in with #1 seed.
Absolutely locked in at #1. Sirius, I think we've already crunched the numbers, not to get too ahead of ourselves, but he is going to play Strong Sage a little bit later today. But I don't think there's anything Sirius can do to break into that top 8 spot and get that first day bye. Yeah,
he's in purgatory, I think, and so is Chain as well in terms of their placements. Some of them will not be able to move placements at all in the slightest, so they may try something a little bit different because they're in a tournament environment. It's their final week really to prepare before screaming along the next couple of weeks leading to QuakeCon. So some players may not move up and down at all, but some are still trying to grab one of those top 8 placements, because it could be a doozy here for you. There's going to be a huge amount to talk about, and for players like Avik, where he's, you know, played all his matches already, he's going to be sitting pretty and just going to witness exactly what's going on. I'm sure he's hoping for some 0-3s across the board for a couple of these players. But you can see the leaderboard here. But the main focus is going to be that 7th to 10th spot, where for Avik, he's already played all his matches. Nosfa is in with a good chance to try and secure one of his top 8 placements. But the problem is he's playing against Rafa, and he's going to really struggle to try and claw back some of those points or some of those maps in general. But for Strong Sage and Dramus, there's definitely room for them to squeeze in.
Yeah, this whole day is going to be Avik just sweating. I think there's not much he can do. As you said, he played all of his matches. He just has to sit back and wait and see what Nosfa, Strong Sage, Dramus can do throughout the day. But those are the leaderboards. Again, Wenger locked in at #1. Rare sight to see Rafa not in the #1 spot, but Wenger playing so well. You know, reigning champion for a reason. So we'll see exactly how the day goes. And we're going to start off with ZenAku and psygib. Again, both these players are kind of locked into their positions. Obviously, W's all the way through the season is what you want, money in your pocket. But in terms of positioning, psygib a little too far gone, unfortunately. And Zen, he's sitting pretty. He's going to be locked in that top 8 spot.
Yeah, he'll be fine at the moment. For psygib and Sib in general, they're kind of fighting for 14th, 15th. It depends really how much they care about that seeding in general, depending on what the groups are going to be going into QuakeCon as well. But we'll have to see and try and witness exactly what's going to happen. It's like I mentioned before, for some of these players, these are huge matches. For some, they're just going to use this as a little bit more of a preparation phase, so to speak, in a tournament environment before they go into QuakeCon. As you can see, the previous results, the notable ones, of course, beating Sib and Chain 2-1 before. A few 0-3s recently, but of course with the players he had to come up against, so the top dogs there, it's been a little bit of a struggle. He's clawed a map here and there as well, but apart from that, no, not really a huge amount to discuss.
A lot of gray. A lot of gray. It hurts to see. Hurts to see. But yeah, I mean, at this point, it's kind of, you can just experiment a little bit in an official game, kind of maybe pick some weird champs, try some different strategies. We'll see what psygib has in store. Again, W's all the way through is what you want, but sometimes you don't always get what you want. Zen, on the other hand, playing pretty strong. He's had his stumbles throughout the season, but looking strong, getting stronger. And again, last week of regulation play, and then scrims until we get to QuakeCon in about 2 weeks' time.
That's right. Well, for Zen, he's guaranteed top 8 no matter what, so he's going to be happy about that. It depends on the seeding. He probably will be 6th, maybe 5th, depending on the situation with Maxter in the future. But as you can see, look at the amount of wins he's got across the board. Only losing to Wenger, Maxter, Nosfer, and Razy. Defeating Rafa 2-1 was definitely one of the big ones as well.
Yeah, really big win for him. He's taken down some legends here. And again, some of the matches that we see kind of predicted Zen to be out on top as he's coming into his own. He's got his own play style now. He looks solid week in, week out, and looking pretty good. I think this one might be a little bit of a layup for Zen. We'll see. psygib can come out swinging and play spoiler to Zen on this one and kind of stop that momentum. But let's hop into the pick bands if we have them ready, and we can kind of see what we're going to get in store for the first set of the day. It's going to start off on Deep Embrace. We're going to head over to Vale and then end it with Blood Covenant as map number 3. And Lethal, if you can run me through the champs, please.
Certainly can. Strog versus Ranger, not really too much of a surprise there. Normally see it on Cut to Keep, but we're going to get it on Deep Embrace with that Athena ban. And just going through the maps just quickly as well, it's quite interesting because against psygib, it's kind of pick your poison kind of scenario. You can either ban the Corrupted Keep or you could ban Vale. It looks like Zen has decided to ban Corrupted Keep and keep Vale up instead. And even though statistically Corrupted Keep is being treating psygib quite well, he's also very strong on Vale and using the DK instead. So this is going to be quite an interesting one in itself. And Blood Covenant with the Slash versus the Nyx matchup. Gotta love that kind of pairing, especially against the Blood Covenant as well. But yeah, the first 2 maps is quite an interesting one for me. Letting Vale go, but it's like I said before, you can't ban both Corrupted Keep and Vale against psygib. It's going to be a little bit rough here for Zen, but it's some interesting choices here, especially with the Anarchy. Anarchy is becoming slightly more of a stable but popular champion to use on Vale. We don't really see, you know, too much Eisen or Galena as much as we used to, like back months and months ago. So a bit of a change of pace there, but seeing the DK a little bit more often now across the board.
Yeah, and again, no keel pick, which is disgusting since he got that gigantic buff. Gigantic buff in this most recent patch, but that's fine. It's a fantastic set between these two that we're going to have. In terms of seeing the breakdown and everything, who do you think you're going to lock in as your prediction for this one, Lethal?
I don't have to do it for psygib, but doing them dirty, but it has to be a Zen Friezo. Just looking at the picks so far, the map. So the only thing I might say is psygib could scrape map number 2, but apart from that, though, that's going to be a tall order in itself, even if it is one of those better maps. But now, I don't know what you think, but if you say something different, then I'm not happy.
Yeah, you did him dirty. I'm going to say 2-1 Zen. I'm going to give psygib the benefit of the doubt that he can put 1 up on Zen, but we'll see. And a huge apology on my end. Kilson's the reigning champ. I meant Wenger is a previous champion. That's why he has the #1 spot. But it's okay. Chat's already canceled me. So that's going to be the set of the day for #1 anyway, between Zen and psygib. We're going to get into it shortly here. And I still stick with my 2-1 because I feel like psygib deserves a little bit of respect on his name. But Lethal, I understand. Zen's playing well. psygib has had his flubs throughout the season. I understand why you went 3-0. It's fine. I'll forgive you.
Oh, cheers. I appreciate it, mate. I thought it's just because you're going full NA on me like you normally do, so.
I mean, look, I gotta support the boys, but it gets hard. They make it hard sometimes. I'm not gonna lie.
They break your heart too much.
They do. They do. No keel love, no nothing. Again, gigantic buff. Go read the patch notes, chat. But yes, we're going to get into map number 1 here shortly for this first set of the day. Again, last day of regulation play before we have about a 2-week break, and then we will see you all live from Dallas. But still, a lot of matches that we need to get out of the way so we can see how the leaderboard settles before we do all of that good stuff. And it all starts with Zen versus psygib.
Yeah, it's a nice little starter, isn't it, too, before we go into today, because our brain are going to be melted. It's going to be fried trying to work out what is going on here. But
I can't do math.
Updated.
American public school. Like, what do you want from me? I can barely time items, and they're only 30 seconds apiece. So we'll see, though. We'll see. There's probably brilliant people in chat that can help us out.
Yeah, but they will help us. If we mess up the timings, they can just keep backing us up every single time. That's fine, because our map is just absolutely fabulous.
I beg of you.
We're going into the first map anyway. First series of the day between ZenAku and psygib. Let's see exactly what mischief they're going to get up to as we start off from Zen's perspective, going straight for the rockets, over to the heavy, and already in a good position now to rally up all the weapons in his arsenal. He's just going to have a look around top mid, missed the first rail, but just using that for more pressure here. Misses the second rail as well. Not going to follow for that orb, but psygib's done a fair amount of damage here with DLG, just keeping him pinned around the rocket. Says he's taken a huge amount there with that heavy machine gun as well. Only on 15 HP. This is a good start from psygib.
Yeah, struggling there. Zen with the railgun just can't find the shots, and psygib chipping away and actually gets the frag off of it. So Zen might need to warm up a little bit here. psygib trying to rocket jump and save it, trying to get to that heavy armor. He will eventually. But a decent start from psygib here, and again, a little bit of maybe shaking the rust off from Zen.
He could be. It is quite early. To be fair, majority of us don't wake up till 6 p.m, so it's understandable. This is new territory for them. And I'm sure they're going to try and fix their sleeping patterns going into Quake, because I can tell you what, 40, there's no way I can play at 9 a.m. There's absolutely no way. That's when I go to bed.
It's brutal, but it's a marathon. And oh, Zen with the peeker play. Drops right in front, but makes it work. Ties it at 1. And he's got to step up that rail game. He's 2 for 8 right now. That is not normally. Check-in PC is psygib. A little bit of tri-bolt. They both actually fake the jump pad, and psygib gets sent to the heavens with a shotgun blast. Another one to end it. 2-1 in favor of Zen.
Oh, a complete role reversal over the last 45 seconds. Is Zen now just analysing the situation. Good first rail there, looking for enough if he can. Doesn't hit the second, but he's done enough damage here to maybe push with these rockets. Gets a sprinkle of damage done. Just tickles him a tad whilst he goes through that murder hole. Misses the other rail as he went for the light, but that one's going to back things up massively. Does have Pika in hand, looking to try and rotate back around and could potentially chase him here, but he's got the angle. Sadly misses that previous rail once again, but still has that Pika, mind you, and he's going to be popping that to see what he can find. Not really huge amounts, but looks like he's just going to prioritise the mega, and he's got plenty of time to contest that heavy as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, nice physical cutoff from Zen to make sure that psygib doesn't have any shenanigans towards the mega. Plenty of time to come back to the heavy, and on his way, he's going to pick up another frag. Zen looking a lot more clean right now. That's a great rail off the spawn as well.
Oh, the LG to boot straight afterwards, just continuing with that pressure. The shotgun's not really doing himself any favour. I think I saw 2 and an 8, then a 12 there, and then a 6. Lovely shotgun coming up from Zen, but psygib was so weak. So unfortunate there from Zen.
Shoddy Pippin has let him down. That is a catastrophe, but psygib capitalizes on that. Is very weak here from this lower position, trying to find a cheeky rail shot. Does have the dire orb, but only 73 HP. Make it 43 after a little tickle. He's going to have to concede fully, and look at the stack advantage for ZenAku right now.
Dear me, yeah, you kind of feel like it's just a matter of time here, unless psygib gets a couple of good rails, but instead it's going to be tanking even more damage. You can see Zen, how eager he was to... Oh, finds him in the end with DLG. Good stuff before he picks up that light. And rocket jump over to see if he can catch him around rocket. Still around rail. Doesn't hit the first rail, mind you, but he'll be able to redeem himself with his Pika, hopefully, as he's just chasing him in. And hits a great rail there. Got the heavy straight after, his orbs away, but I don't think it's going to change the matter at all. As he whips out the shotgun once again. Cleans him up, 5-2 now, 3.5 minutes in.
Oh, and a great rail off the spawn. This might be a run for Zen. Make it 2. Just looking for the third. psygib extremely weak. Zen has mega to his back, already denying the upper light. There's the shotgun to pick him out of the sky, just skeet shooting, and now he can pick up the mega. And again, perfect rotation for the heavy. This could be absolutely monumental for Zen on taking the lead. and extending it past the point of no return, really.
Just bashing away with that heavy machine gun, done a fair amount of damage. psygib just trying to stay alive at this point and just find that perfect recovery rotation, but it orbs away, but Zen was more than ready for that. And already now 7-2. It hits the first rail. Good peeker to boot straight afterwards, but got the mega. And the timings are just perfect here for Zen. Now got plenty of time once more to go for that good heavy machine gun coming up from Zen. Still not available, so he can continue to pile on the pressure if he can. Only 10 HP. As psygib's still looking for that initial rail, but it is not going to happen. Left on 10 HP still. And this is Zen in prime position now to maybe let things spiral out of control.
Oh my god, that rocket misses with the follow-up rail, but still does enough damage, and there's the cutoff through the murder hole. Upper armor's available, Mega's up. Zen just has the map at his fingertips right now, and psygib is in a bad, bad way.
Certainly is indeed. Got position, he's eating the lights, he's got good contention of the items as well. He could run in and go for it if he can, but he's playing it very patiently. Hits a good rail, but needs to back away. The stacks are quite equal. Good rail once again coming out from Zen. Just going to hopefully, if it dies into his tripod, not going to happen. psygib does him in with that previous rail.
Nice steal on the heavy. Great rail play to get him back into it. The tri-bolt, though, almost cuts him down. So water balloons are deadly lethal. Whoa,
certainly are.
Okay.
I was just trying to give him a hug. Just trying to give him a hug, it's fine.
Yeah, I just saw him coming in with a shotgun. I was like, this is bad, and psygib takes out psygib. How dare you try and make me bleed my own blood?
47 HP, manages to get to the light in time. Oh, the LG was beautiful there from psygib, and now he can try and rotate back around, but you can see Zen already trying to pick up the LG before heading towards the mega, but will he get there in time? Looks like he's out of position, and psygib just daring for him to push on through, but instead psygib's gonna be one who grabs that mega here, but he's got 4 minutes left, and he's not gonna get it. Ugh.
That was the water balloons, wasn't it?
It was,
the water
yeah.
balloons ruined everything. Shouts to sing. Love it.
Oh, straight past him, comes up with a shotgun. 50 HP, 12-2 now. And the scoreline is getting even scarier here for it. Oh, good peek as well.
Yeah, I mean, early on it was a little brutal, and again, Zen just has the right rotation. psygib hanging in there just based off pure mechanics and sheer will. But after the engagement, he's just so weak. He can't really contest for anything. He has to go all in, though. It's about 7 minutes past, and he's down 9. Doesn't have much of a choice. Has to try and get some damage here, but Zen's going to take that for free. psygib just trying to stay alive, live off the lights, and somehow get back into this. Again, down 9. Not impossible. There's always time, lethal, especially with rails like that. Into the rocket. Zen waits patiently and picks him out of the sky with a gorgeous air rocket.
Yeah, he certainly did. There's always time, but yeah, no. Yeah. No, I don't think so. At this stage, his psygib is pretty weak, cleaned up by the peeker. And Zen now, even though with the engagement previously took a lot of damage, mind you, obviously the scoreline speaks for itself. Oh, great rail combo there just to clean up psygib. Finds him again on that light spawn and backing away.
Absolutely turned it around. He was started out 1 for 8. Now he's 21 for 36. Is Zen 58% on that rail, almost 2k damage. He's warmed up, to say the least, lethal.
Certainly is. Took a couple of minutes to get himself going, but it looks like he's more than ready in terms of his aim skill. The amount of damage he's doing from underneath, this is ridiculous, and clears up the shoddy. And yeah, we've seen a fair amount of damage in the past, but 3 rockets in a row doing that much, that was ridiculous from Zen.
Pretty brutal. psygib's like, please stop. Please don't. But no, the beatings will continue until morale improves. 16-3. Zen looking for a little bit more. psygib drops, trying to get the LG on him, using that pillar and serving up another hot rocket.
Yeah, find him again, top mids, trying to hit a couple of these rockets. Got the 39 from that previous tribal. Hasn't got barely any armor. Good read though from Zen, but looks like he's actually rotated back around. Good heavy machine gun just flying by from the TP. But didn't do himself too many favors here. Zen now cleans him out, left on 12 HP. Now just a minute 20 left remaining.
Minute 20 for 15 frags. Should I say the line, Lethal? There's always time. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, Zen starting off a little shaky there, but as we discussed earlier, the rail, and just prime example right there, really coming into play later on, 19-3. This one fully in Zen's control. Tribal to the face as psygib just trying to do whatever he can, but the campfire rail takes him down again. We've hit the 20 mark.
God, this is looking rough. 45 seconds left, and the brutality is just continuing on here. Zen is almost fell down, but they've got the direct straight afterwards. Cleans him up anyway. Ooh, that's a bit of a doozy, but he'll be fine. I'm sure he won't be crying about it in his sleep.
No, I mean, psygib has to just mentally reset, and as you said previously, map number 2 might fare a little bit better for him. We hope. 22-3 with maybe adding a little more for Zen. Started off a little shaky, but now looking aggressively solid. And again, every week, this has kind of been Zen's MO, right? Maybe not starting off shaky, but just this display of being able to control the map, playing well around the rail, and opening up his game from those rail shots, and just deciding where he wants to establish control and command over the map. That's it. The final buzzer, 22-3 is going to be your score on map number 1. Very good display from Zen. Unfortunately for psygib, little weak. Some of those frags were just pure mechanics. Left very weak afterwards. No item control. Completely canceled off the map. That's brutal. Brutal start for psygib, but as you said, you kind of expected a 3-0. I don't know if we expected it in that fashion to start off on map number 1, but Zen's looking strong. What else can you say?
Yeah, can't say much about it. I know you were just being nice, weren't you, to psygib, so that's fine. I'll let you off.
How dare you? I firmly believe he can take a map, all right? There's still time. 20 minutes remain, Lethal. How dare you?
I know. I'm sorry. Awful human being I am, but yeah, you saw that from Zen. It was just absolutely complete brutality there. But yeah, so, you know, psygib, he's got Vale coming up next, so we may see something a little bit different in the works. It's definitely one of his better maps, and sometimes one of his go-to maps as well. Like with Corrupted Keep and Vale always in his back pocket. But yeah, that was just absolutely unbelievable stuff from Zen. Even a nice little sync coming out there. Oh, there we go. Speak of the devil. So that was just so unfortunate, considering the Mega is just sitting in his face nicely. Unbelievable. But nearly 2,000 damage, just about 1,700 damage, roughly more for Zen. 51% rail accuracy. 30 items picked up as well on a map like Deep Embrace. The items were quite heavily segregated at the very beginning, and he just kept it like that for the entirety. It was quite rough there for psygib. Poor guy.
Yeah, I mean, it was brutal. You saw Zen miss a bunch of rails in the beginning and psygib just chipping away with machine gun, and you thought, okay, this is interesting. But after all of that, Zen still had amazing map control. And as you see there, as you mentioned, 30 items to, I think, 6 or 7 majors for psygib. There's no way you can win with that kind of item control. So hopefully, Vale of Parnath, we're going into that map number 2. psygib can have better item control, and I think the DK pick has big burst potential, especially against Anarchy. So we might be able to see psygib flip this, but he has to be more present on the map. You can't get away with 6, 7 items and try and win. I mean, 22-3 is a decimating loss, and that's all because of the items. Zen heated up with the rail as well, which helped, but that item control was just impeccable from Zen.
Yeah, it's a little bit rough. No items, not really a huge amount of damage in comparison either. And to give people a bit of context as well, Sib and psygib are currently on the same points. So the only thing psygib could do just to kind of guarantee things, even just scraping one map could be massively beneficial to keep that 14th seed. But, you know, it could be clutching at straws here, but I think for psygib, he does have something to play for. And I think this is the map which could hopefully change things for him. But after that scoreline, I don't know, man. I don't know, because that was pretty rough.
Brutal start. Yeah, looking at the leaderboards, I mean, you're saying if psygib wins these next 2 maps, he gets first place? I don't know how the math works.
Yeah, that's exactly how it works. Yeah,
he has to do a handstand, 10 handstand push-ups backwards and then drink a milkshake, and then he has to win these 2 maps only using rockets, and then I think in the leaderboards he will skyrocket to first place. There's a bunch of clauses. Now, I don't know how it works, but anyways, we're getting into map number 2, Vale of Parnath, Zen versus psygib. Zen looking to keep the pain train going, and psygib trying to pump the brakes a little bit. We'll see if he can. We're going to start off on Zen.
Yeah, let's see what he's up to. He picks up the rail straight away, and he's going to be circling around just to collect all the goodies. We're going to see what he's going to be up to. He knows psygib is going to be above him. I had a feeling that he may drop down. But psygib is playing this very safe at the moment, as Zen, once he goes for the TP, will have the high advantage anyway. He's just double-checking in case psygib has circulated around, but some good rockets coming out from psygib. Are we watching Garpy play?
2 gorgeous rockets, and stop it with your EU bias. That was all NA rockets, baby. And those rockets have won him both items. So right off the bat, better item control for psygib, but can he convert those to frags? Missing with the rail, Zen, great defensive rail there. A little bit of LG battle here. Is psygib going to try and push this? He needs to try and loop back to the heavy, which he will. Flame Strike is available as an option as well, but Zen doing a good job controlling that middle ground, making it really difficult on psygib using the Flame Strike. There's the LG. He does get the heavy steal, and he gets the frag.
Yeah, Zen actually did take a lot of damage in that engagement, a lot more than I anticipated, of course, with psygib catching with the LG, but psygib looking to try and go for the trade. Another great rocket coming out from psygib, and now he's looking to try and get to that light end mega as soon as physically possible before Zen even attempts to trade. But he's not going to attempt at all, he's just going to stand his ground, just let things go a little bit stale here, as he's going to try and push on towards that heavy. Heavy is up, manages to get it, but it takes so much damage, about 114 there. The problem for psygib is he hasn't got any armor and is a little bit weak in terms of stack, but he's got the position and he's got some good rockets as well straight afterwards. That 38 and then the direct is definitely going to give him a huge amount of leeway, and he has the flame strike here for his now. So it's a matter of time, hits him with the rail, but Mega just in the nick of time.
Yeah, absolutely bailed him out with the Flame Strike. Nice use of it to make sure that he secures that frag before the Mega as well, so his stack's looking a little bit better for this heavy, which is a clean pickup. No rail from Zen. Inject is back for Zen. Rails exchanged. So that inject might come into play here on this next Mega if Zen feels comfortable to push. Not sure about his weaponry. Looks like he's only rocking the rail right now. So, ability for psygib to maybe sustain this lead and extend here based on this item control again, which is leaps and bounds better than we saw on map number 1.
psygib just a lot better item control, been abusing the verticality of this map to the full degree. Zen's on 80% accuracy with the rail, but he's only fired 5 shots. It's not really been too rail heavy here. It's compared to what we normally see, but as I say, that typical, it's now going to be a rail standoff, but psygib just standing in position waiting for that mega, and again, the items are heavily segregated, so psygib, of course, can do whatever as he sees fit and how he wants to try and contest these items. Still got the high ground, took a bit of damage from that last rocket, using the flame strike onto the heavy if Zen does approach it, saying that he's got to guarantee some damage, but Zen did a huge amount of damage considering the position he was in, and psygib not able to do too much there, sadly, but does have to back away. But good round to even out the stack. Waiting for him to pull back through. He knows he hasn't got the flame strike to use once again. Actually, rocket jumps up for the mega. Beautiful stuff from psygib and cleans up Zen, making that 3-1. And this is why, for psygib, this is one of his definitely go-to or better maps statistically this season.
Yeah, and adding a little wild card to it with that rocket jump. Zen caught off guard. psygib converts, makes it work up 2. Again, looking a lot stronger in terms of item control. Unfortunately, missing with that rail. It has the opportunity for a little more flame strike back in hand. As heavy's not going to be up, psygib needs to get positioning back on this mega. Zen knows it. Another huge dunk, make it 2, and psygib's rockets are just so good right now, Lethal.
It really is indeed. 4 minutes in, it's already 4-1, and this is more than doable at the moment. Much better item control. He's rotating really well, adapting quite well as well. Just the odd occasion here and there where he couldn't really work to its full potential with his advantage in terms of map positioning, but still manages to sneak away with some of his frags. But yeah, just really impressive stuff. And you can tell as well, Zen hasn't picked up a single mega, and it just shows really how well psygib's been contesting the mega, but also kind of gives a clear indicator on how he's been positioning himself and where he's been positioning as well. So you can see backing off again, going for that heavy. As the items are about 9 seconds apart between each other. Gets a little bit with the LG, but this is fine for psygib. Just taking his time. He's not really rushing in to any kind of bad situation. Just letting Zen make the first move and then adapting to how he sees fit with that methodical process. Good rail once again, and Zen is slightly available, but psygib with the mega. Heavy's up in 5 seconds. This is looking so good for psygib. Much better from what we saw compared to that first map.
Yeah, and as an Anarchy, it's not catastrophic that he's not getting the megas, but the positioning on the heavy being a little bit late and out of position, he's got to get more of these heavies if that's how he's going to play it and use that inject as a mega replacement. psygib looking so strong right now. Extends the lead to 5 as we have hit the 5-minute threshold. psygib looking a lot better on this one. For those playing the home version, it is an NA server if you want a theory craft on why this is going the way it is. Excuses. 6-1 for psygib, looking pretty strong. Might catch out Zen here. A little bit of a tickle on the way out as he's using that speed to get away. And again, Zen nowhere to be found for the heavy because he's just been caught out.
Yeah, he's just got some of the best rockets in the game, isn't he? It's just unreal how well he's been reading him from a defensive purposes, and now looking to see if he can stop him going through. Good use of the nail. He's going to try and do a little bit more of the LG. Is available, but Zen does get away, and he's not really giving Zen any room to be not just creative, but in terms of how to adapt and plug himself back into this matchup here. He's running out of ideas. 7-1 now. Heavy's up. Mega's going to be up in 15. Still heavily segregated with the items. And is always hitting that first rail to give himself a huge amount of leeway to push on forward and add some additional pressure here. 58% rail from Zen, 52% from psygib so far. And psygib is hit just under 600 damage, but Zen finally gets the frag he was looking for, but he's got 3 minutes to play with, has the inject, has the Mega as well, and the heavy up in 5.
Yeah, first Mega 6:45 into the map. He knew he had to push that advantage, did good damage, and he converted. Now he's got to do more. Great heavy pickup as well. Uses the inject for even more of a stack, but he's got to try and turn this into damage. Time is ticking down 5, 3 minutes left. Zen trying to get in there. Good defensive rail at first from psygib. Nice rocket sends him into the acid for more damage. More rockets from psygib. And Zen is just taking so much damage. He's got to try and back off onto this Mega and grab that to keep the stack, and psygib is ready for it. What a shot.
Yeah, this is actually unreal. I don't think anyone would have predicted how this is going so far. And if you just said you would, unbelievable. How dare you lie to us? But it's fine. It's Zen. Cleans him up with the LG. Plenty of time here. 2.5 minutes left. Going straight on in. Make sure it doesn't get much of a chance. But that trade was so important for psygib, just to kind of slow down this momentum that Zen was trying to build in that split second. Zen, another good rocket there. Does use the inject and is going to rotate back around. Zen's just trying to do everything he can just to try and pressurize and not really give psygib a chance to even stabilize to a certain degree, and just to kind of assess the situation, just trying to pile on as much pressure as possible. So 8 minutes 45 left remaining. But Zen's so weak, and you kind of feel like it's just a matter of time before psygib claims another frag. Mega is up. Does pick up the heavy as well, and it's going to be pretty damn difficult here for Zen to bring this back.
Yeah, he knew the items were timed or synced up perfectly, so he took that extra second to do damage on psygib. He's just got to finish it here. Psygib doubles back, but gets caught out. Minute 20 for 4 frags. Zen has the speed, doesn't necessarily have the stack. Can he make a miracle happen here at Lethal? It's going to take a lot.
Certainly will do. It is possible, but percentage-wise probability is going to be very unlikely. But he can see if he could try and make it happen. Picks up the heavy. He's got the stack to continue the aggression. But psygib just hanging out, man. He's just sitting around rail. He's fine around the quad and just chilling, just hoping that he doesn't get found. But this is all he needs to do. Just to delay as much time as possible before things escalate a bit too much for himself and for Zen's in terms of his advantages. But yeah, he's just doing a good job just wasting time. Not really too much to say here. psygib again just backing away towards that rail room.
Yeah, and this has got to be frustrating, but psygib's doing everything he can to make sure, and that's the stamp on it. 30 seconds left with the last frag, even though he's weak after that one. A 5 frag lead for psygib. And he's tied it up at 1, and we are going to go into map number 3, Blood Covenant / for Zen, Nyx for psygib, which is going to be the deciding factor for these series between these two. And Lethal, I think, might have been right. At least a map. I mean, technically, you said map number 2 was going to be the one if he got one, so
yeah,
maybe half credit.
Yeah, I know you're trying to help me.
You didn't believe.
I did say it was going to be better.
Yeah, but you still said 3-0. You still said 3-0.
I know. I did him dirty. I admit it. I'm an awful. He can be as annoying to me as he wants to Quake on. It's fine.
I'm just saying, I got to protect the boys in NA. Okay, somebody on the show has to. It's very EU dominated. But anyways, psygib coming up big on map number 2, tying it at 1, as we just saw. Really good item control, nice positioning there. Zen got caught out again as Anarchy. You can kind of concede the mega as long as you're getting the heavies, but he just wasn't getting enough of them. And psygib with some fantastic rockets against this Anarchy to really extend the lead. Good use of the flame strike in positions like this to kind of bait out Zen and force him out from behind cover. And psygib just played a different game on this map.
psygib has also possibly made it so it's almost at the realms of possibility for Zen to come 5th now he's taken this map. It's not 100% of course, but he's made it way more unlikely than he originally planned with that 9-5 win on map number 2. 59% rail coming out from Zen still, but psygib, man, those rockets were just illegal. They were so good. Like, some of the stuff he was doing was just ridiculous and just saved his bacon on so many occasions.
I like saving bacon. You got all the quips, Lethal. I love it. I love it. We have to talk about what any of it means to me because I don't understand, but I'm willing to learn as we take a look at the score breakdowns from map 1 and 2. And again, map number 3 as the decider, Blood Covenant / versus Nyx. Should be a good one. It'll be very interesting. We are going to hop back to an EU server, I believe. So whatever that means to you, Chad, I don't know if that's advantageous, disadvantageous. I don't keep up anymore, but I know that psygib has tied it, and now it's all on Zen to try and finish this one out. I know that he strives for success, holds himself to a very high standard. psygib in the position he's in with the leaderboard, nothing to lose. You can kind of play the game you want. Doesn't really matter at this point. I mean, obviously you want to win, but you could try a little crazy tactic here and there, and you're not really losing much. It's not like you're going to drop out of the top 8 or anything like that. So I feel like with that, knowing that you can kind of go as crazy as you want, psygib has a slight advantage in terms of just being able to do whatever he wants. But we'll see if Zen can contain that, and also if the rail game can come back. 50%, pretty good. What was he hitting? 58 on that last map? Not bad. He needs more of that, though. Zen relies on that rail a lot to open up the rest of his game.
Certainly does. And for psygib, he's going, in terms of match scores, going 2-12, Sib's going 1-13. But even though they're on the same points, that one map win will kind of help himself a little bit further, be a bit more beneficial for him. But for Zen, him and Maxo were on the same match wins as well. But the problem was Zen was just a little bit behind in terms of points. So a 3-0 would have been massive for Zen, depending on how the situation goes with the other matchup. But sadly, it is what it is. So it's going to make it more unlikely for him. So we're going to map number 3 now to see exactly how these two are going to finish this series off. Will psygib actually win this series? It's possible. But against a Slash and Blood Covenant, we know how much of a pain in the backside she can really be here, as we're going to start from Zen's perspective.
Deed is trying to defend that rail early on. Big split between the items now. psygib takes another rail after picking up the heavy. Zen just needing rockets, and he'll have everything he needs. Just missing with that rail is psygib. Zen able to get the drop on him over top, using that speed into the rail. Beautiful combo. That's leaving psygib extremely weak. And now we're going to see Zen start to deny things off the map, making sure that psygib has no resources to work with and that he can get this frag before the heavy. Now it's just a matter of, can psygib play sneaky? Does have the ghost walk. And Zen heard the health bubble. He's going to try and line up this rail and just misses out. Nice rail from psygib, though.
Yeah, it certainly was. But look at the item difference in terms of the timings here. It's not working in psygib favours at all. Yes, he had to use that ghost walk. Perfectly understandable as he drops all the way down, but he's still pretty trapped in a rock and a hard place. That other rail is not going to do him any favours here. He's picking at Mega as well. He can just drop down and do exactly what he likes. Still took all the armor away from him, but even then here, Zen start things off 1-0.
Yeah, pretty brutal. Knew the ghost walk was down. The psygib was up at that point. And it's bad. It's a bad start, but still not catastrophic here. A little bit of plasma, but Zen, he's just, the map control is already so good. And psygib needs to be very, very careful. Does have ghost walk up soon, but here's the pressure from Zen. Nice rocket from psygib. But again, goes down, trying to fight for this mega a little bit too early.
Yeah, this is looking more and more rough now, of course. With this early leads here, for Zen, especially with the speed and mobility of the Slash, it's just going to make matters even worse. And of course, psygib will have to use that ghost walk a lot more aggressively, during the later stages of this game if he does want to try and bring this back. But the item controls so far just all been in Zen's way. 7 items for Zen and only 1 for psygib here, as he's still trying to contest and make it look as though Nyx has a clutch hitbox with that LG. My God.
Absolutely brutal. That was a punch in the psygib right there. 3-0 for Zen. Again, the map control is immaculate right now. And that rail, that was so good. Just a little flick of the wrist from Zen there.
Eating every single light on the map and the heavy. This guy is mega greedy, but gotta love him for it. It's fine. As he dives on in with the LG. The LG, the tracking on Zen right now.
I just, yeah, this is brutal right now. psygib has to try and fight back, and the rail from Zen, there's 1 from psygib, but still, Zen keeps getting these spawn rails, and just as a light, you have nothing to do.
God.
You have no choices. And Zen is just not happy with how map number 2 went. You can see that he's taking it out on psygib right now.
Oh, he does go to walk away. Do you need a bucket, by the way? You all right?
I might, yeah. This is pretty disgusting right now. That one was a layup, unfortunately, for psygib. Just tried to snake that mega. How many times have we seen him just try and get in on that mega and get fragged? It's just not a good look. Nice LG from below. Then needs to be careful. No, he doesn't. Doesn't matter. 7-0 with the vertical rail.
Like, what has happened with his tracking compared to that last map? Like, it's just entirely... Well, don't get me wrong, his aim was pretty good previously, but, like, all of a sudden now, it's just entirely different. Just barely missing anything with the LG and the rail, and it's just...
Well, I think the rule was if psygib gets 1 mega, he wins, so we can just stop the game right now.
Yeah.
He does get his first, then it doesn't matter. 8-0. Consider it a gift from Zen right now, as he is fully in control of this one.
Yeah, that's an understatement, isn't it, so far? In terms of items, 14 items to the 2 from psygib, and Zen's just lapping the map back and forth, getting his items. Perfect segregation, of course, with the timing, so he can just continue to do whatever he likes, however he likes. And consistently keeping a height advantage and creating these great traps as well. But good rockets coming out from psygib here in terms of damage. Heavy is going to be up any second now. He's going to leave it be and collect those other 2 lights instead, which he hasn't eaten up, which is quite fortunate. And now he's just going to rotate back around. Mega's up in 5. We're going to see how psygib's going to approach this, but that's put a complete stop to psygib's aggression.
Here's him out from down below, and again, what a flick of the wrist, and this should be a follow-up right in the nicks of time, the ghost walk, just to stay alive. psygib struggling to just show presence on the map right now. Zen favoring to pick up the heavy instead of chasing, knowing that psygib doesn't have much to work with, so even when he does find him, still going to be a weak stack. Nice little nail jump to get across there and try and cut off in the pillars here. Decent rockets. Make that amazing rockets. Nice little rocket jump. Swag, lethal. Swag. Oh.
It was.
Oh, okay.
Until that happened.
There it is. There it is. That's the critical mistake that'll turn this all around for psygib. Probably not. But I mean, 8 frags. That's a whole bunch. It's a whole bunch. He's got a lot of work to do right there.
Yeah, it's quite a lot, isn't it? It's quite a lot, eh? 59% rail coming up from Zen as on top of things against the Nyx, which is something you do not want to see as the opposing player. Some rockets come up from psygib. Good rail. Zen has dropped, but just hiding behind that tri-bolt pillar before he goes on up to try and contest this mega. Could get it, mind you. 23 HP, but the trade is coming out instead.
Brutal. Rails exchanged, but again, Zen has the stack. I guess silver lining if you're psygib. You stole a heavy, but you're still down 9 with 330 left. Is there still time, lethal? I don't know.
Should be a stand-up comedian.
I'd like to sit down too much. I could never. There's a ghost walk. Look at that snail trail. Beautiful rainbow that you don't want to touch. Nice machine gun work. psygib wins out on another mega. Make that his 3rd of the map, which kind of tells you why the scoreline is what it is. Also, Zen popping off with rails doesn't hurt one bit. 7 minutes in, psygib with a lot of work ahead of him.
And it does indeed. Hits the first. Zen just avoiding himself from being railable after that previous fight. Not getting too much done with the rockets, but it keeps him at bay whilst he picks up this Mega. He's going to try and circulate around. Good first rail. He's after blood once again. He's going to go for the second. Misses, but see if he can add a bit of flair onto his next one. But psygib had to ruin it, had to drop down as he's going to pick up the health bubble and pretend he's going for the heavy, which clearly he's not. His back's away, but the stack again from Zen, pretty damn good, and he's got high advantage over him once again, popping that Ghost Walk towards the Mega.
Nice rocket there from psygib. Misses with the rail conversion. Mega's going to be up. He's going to be able to snag that, but now it's just timing. Time is his enemy. Speed is Zen's friend. He could just run away for the last 2 minutes of this one, and it is going to make it pretty damn impossible for psygib to be able to come back on this one. The lead is just too gigantic. Zen has done a fantastic job on map number 3, asserting dominance.
210 with the heavy. Not too shabby there. psygib's still trying to recover. And the Mega is up, but will psygib get to it in time? Yes, he will, but not before consuming last rail. 2 for 2. Go on, might as well make it 3 at this point. Go on, and there we go. 3 for 3. Lovely stuff from Zen.
Makes it look easy. Takes his time, really patient. 11-1, and just another day at the office here from Zen. You didn't really know what was going on with the series. First 2 minutes on map number 1, the shaky rail, what was happening. Then we saw the blowout. psygib able to clap back on map number 2, but Zen coming out strong on map number 3 to take this series. Add more dubs to the regulation stats for his run this season. And again, psygib, I mean, not a lot changes given the position on the leaderboard for him. But a good display on map number 2, but he's got a lot of work to do. QuakeCon right around the corner. And you hope the land performance for psygib is a little stronger than what we've seen him go through online.
I can tell you got so much faith in the man. You think he's going to win, don't you?
I think Effortless is the one who's really going to take it, but it's not about me and what I think, okay? psygib with some nice rails there. Bit of an consolation, I guess. Thank you for playing. I appreciate it. Again, sometimes we see psygib's mechanics shine, but I think throughout this set, although map number 2 was in his advantage, I think the item control and the mechanics on Zen were just absolutely brutal. Ooh, nice rail as well.
Yeah, it certainly was.
And another. Oh, one more.
Zen adding more to Battalion, eh? Onto his scoreline once again. 5 seconds left, and we're going to be done and dusted. Zen just taking a mickey here. Could get a ballet. There we go. Got to add a ballet, a bit of flair onto the end, don't you? But there we go, though. Zen taking that 2-1. A lot of people would have assumed 3-0, but psygib came in luck and just played extremely well on that map number 2 on Vale. And to be fair, actually, even though he's lost a lot of Vales this season, it has statistically been one of the his better maps along with Corrupted Keep as well. He's always keeping the scorelines close. But taking Zen down on Vale, it's definitely something to not mark home about. He should be pretty damn happy with himself. Played extremely well, abused that verticality to no end. Good timers, good rockets overall. But the problem is for now for psygib with a lot more space and a lot more maneuvers for Zen to kind of pursue, and especially against a slash with that speed and mobility, it's just extremely tough. And of course, having to use that Ghost Walk aggressively to even make anything happen. But the aim skill coming out from Zen, the tracking he showed during those first 6 or 7 minutes was just textbook stuff. It was unreal.
Yeah, really, really nice mechanics there from Zen. And honestly, on map number 2, some of that may be contributed to Anarchy on Vale. I haven't seen that a lot. I don't know the stats. I don't know if Flea's around to be able to post that somewhere. I don't know what the pick rate is for Anarchy on Vale. So interesting pick from Zen. That may have played into why psygib was able to assert dominance on the map and take the item control that he did. But still, it happened. psygib put up a map. Overall, Zen takes the series 2-1 in convincing fashion on map number 1 and 3. And he adds another dub, the final dub of regulation, to his season run. And that is it for Series 1 today.
Certainly is indeed. Well, what a weird series. 2 blowouts, map 1 and 3, and psygib taking map number 2. Absolutely absurd.
Just NA things. It's just NA things. Don't worry about it, Lethal.
Isn't it? But in terms of the leaderboard, though, I do feel like Zen should secure 6th no matter what now, depending on the circumstances here. Like, he could He could have overtaken Maxter, depending on if he actually managed to 3-0 psygib, but because psygib took that map, I think 6 should be pretty set on stone, but don't quote me on that, because in terms of broadcast maths, I am damn awful, so I have to say. But psygib should be able to secure 14th as well.
We'll see. Hopefully at the end of the show, we can kind of get the updated leaderboards, take a last look at that. But that'll be later. For now, Series 1 in the bag. We're done. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to have Adramas versus Kilson, the Battle of the Rails. Don't go anywhere. More Quake to come.